good? What's good? What's good, baby? It's your boy Trek, the sports junkie. Look at him. He's all excited right now. I don't know. We ain't doing that, Keo. We're not doing that today. We're not here to talk about college football because I know that's what you want to do. You want to go live. You want to talk about college football. You had every opportunity yesterday to do that. Today it's about fantasy.
Yeah, I'll get you back on Tuesday.
Oh God. Oh God. I just want to say one thing. Clemson. Oh God, you're pathetic for missing that field goal. Golly. But neither here nor there. Let's get straight into it. Inactives on the day. Christian Watkins is out still. Aaron Jones is out for today. Jamal Williams is out for the Saints. Zay Jones is out for the Jaguars. Just a couple of inactives for you right there. Keo, we gonna get right into it, man. We're not gonna hold time. We know we're not picking no Niners. We know we're not picking no Giants. They already played on Thursday. Let's get to the top five quarterbacks of the day today, outside of the studs, obviously.
Okay, number 5 starting for me for today for week 3. I'm going with Dak Prescott at number 5 against Arizona. He had a better game last week um compared to that 5-point performance in week 1. So I like this matchup, Dak Prescott against Arizona at 5. Number 4, I'm going with Geno Smith against Carolina, man. After seeing what Derek Carr did to against Carolina on the road, I'm going with uh Geno Smith at number 4. Coming in at number 3, Jared Goff. I got Goff at number 3. I think this is a huge favorable matchup for him going against the Atlanta Falcons. They did end up losing in this last week. I like this matchup. The guy's been averaging 18 or more a game. I think he had 18 the last game, and I think he had a 20 plus game last week in a losing effort. Coming is that 3? I'm at 3 now or 4? No, no, yeah, I'm at 3. I'm going okay, my number 2 guy, I'm starting Tua. I'm going at Tua at number 1, man. I mean, Tua at number 2. Tua at number 2. He had an amazing game week 1. He got brought back to reality in week 2.
Oh God.
Along with Tyreek Hill, who got brought back to reality. Mostart basically did a lot of damage for that team. I'm recommending to start Tua at number 2. At number 1 for me, I'm going with the guy in a losing effort, had a 30-point or 30 plus point performance. I'm going with Kirk Cousins at number 1. He's going head to head against Justin Herbert today. I expect a lot of points, shootout type of game. You got to start this guy, man. This dude Kirk Cousins is on pace to throw for over 6,000 yards, man. That's insane, man. Even though they're going to be losing games, but he's going to be racking you up a lot of fantasy points. So I'm going with Kirk Cousins, bro.
Oh,
And that's
so
my top 5.
so now you finally realize the Vikings are gonna be losing games this year. I tried to tell you that
Well,
before the season
well, I'm
started.
not. Well, they're gonna win games too, but I expect them to lose games.
All right, all right. We this
Whoa,
ain't the
whoa,
NBA show. I know. I'm going off
whoa!
topic.
What?
Yeah, I need an explanation. Oh
What?
God. Oh God. Man, don't do that, Q. Don't do that. All right, shout out to my dog Q, by the way. Coming in at number 5, I'm going with Derek Carr. I like what I saw at the end of, against the Panthers last week, and he has 3 phenomenal receivers in Olave, Thomas, and Shaheed. Shaheed is very underrated. He's big play for him. And right now, the Saints have 0 drops. Those 3 wide receivers, 0 drops on the year. I'm going with Derek Carr in my number 5. Number 4, a guy that has struggled this year. And we keep thinking he's going to turn that switch back on. He was once considered, as far as the MBS is concerned, a top 5 quarterback before the suspension. But I'm going with Deshaun Watson today versus the Titans. I think something has to finally click for him. I think it has to click for him. And I just think today is going to be the day. So I'm going with Deshaun Watson at 4. Coming in number 3, I like Matthew Stafford. Matthew Stafford's thrown for 300 yards each of the first 2 weeks. And one of those weeks was against the 49ers. We know how good the Niners are on defense. And he still got 300 yards. He gets the Bengals this week on a Monday night. Now, the Bengals have not looked good at all. So I think Stafford is worth the start. I think he might go over 300 again. You know, if I had to be a betting man, I think he is going over 300. He's just going to have to get his touchdowns up because he's only thrown for 1 touchdown this year. I think that changes on Monday night. So I'm going Matthew Stafford at 3. And coming in number 2, I got Trevor Lawrence. I think Trevor Lawrence finally has one of those games where you're like, okay, you know, Big Mike has Trevor Lawrence as the MVP of the regular season. I don't, but I do think Trevor Lawrence is going to have a good year. Obviously, I drafted him in fantasy football. I think today starts that. I think he has a big game against Houston, and he puts up gaudy numbers. But at number 1, oh, God, it pains me to say this, but I got Dak Prescott. I think he goes crazy. They got the Arizona Cardinals. The Cardinals may be the worst team in football. And what we saw what CeeDee Lamb did last week against the Jets, we're not crazy. CeeDee Lamb's big play. And then you got Tony Pollard. And you got all the other weapons that the Cowboys have. I just think Dak Prescott's going to go crazy in this one. So I'm going with Dak at number 1. You definitely want to start him outside of the normal stud starters. So I'm going with Dak. Let's move to the running back position. Keo, who you got as your top 5 running backs on the day?
Top 5 running backs for the day. I'm going with Isaiah Pacheco at 5.
Oh, God.
Hey, man. Pacheco at 5. I like this one, man. It hasn't been a smooth start for him this season, but I think he'll definitely get it together though. So I definitely got him at number 5. Number 4 for me. Wow, it happens to be another running back I'm starting. Miles Sanders at number 4. Miles Sanders at number 4, man. I like Miles Sanders at 4. It hasn't been a great start for him. He's getting the production, but he just hasn't broken out yet. So I got him at number 4. Coming in at number 3 for me. Despite getting Cam Akers, I'm still going with Alexander Madison at number 3. Yeah, he's going at 3. I think it's going to put pressure on him, so he's going to know he's going to have to step up. So I got him at 3. Number 2 for me, he had a huge game this past weekend, and that's James Cook, man. James Cook at number 2. He's going against Washington, man. Washington, they're missing some players on the defensive side, so I like him at number 2. Number 1 guy to start, man. Oh yes, I'm going with Kyren Williams from the Rams, man. This dude is huge. He's gonna be putting up some great numbers. I like what I see from him. The way they've been getting him involved, catching the ball, running the ball. He's a go-to option to go to. I like Kyren Williams at number 1.
All right, that's not bad. I actually have him in my top 5 as well, but I don't have him at 1. All right, coming in number 5, I got Joshua Kelly, man. I just think that today, you talk about Kirk Cousins. I think Kelly the Chargers are going to have to run the ball, control the clock, keep that Vikings offense on the sidelines. I think Kelly actually has a pretty good game today, so I'm going with Kelly at 5. Coming in number 4, I agree with you. I got James Cook. Did you watch James Cook last week? Over 100 yards. The Bills' offense is truly explosive. They did struggle week 1, but we know what they can do offensively. And I think Cook is going to get more involved in that passing game as well. So I'm going with Cook at 4. Coming in number 3, I got Kyren Williams. You just said it. Everything that you said is the truth. Kyren Williams, they traded away Akers to get this guy to start. I think he's definitely worth the start for you in this matchup versus the Bengals. So I'm going with Kyren Williams at 3. At number 2, I'm going with, and I know Kim's going to say, oh, X, you going with him because you have him on your roster. But Jahmyr Gibbs. David Montgomery is most likely out today. And I think Gibbs finally breaks out. He's going up against his counterpart rookie, Bijan Robinson. And you know, whenever you get drafted in the same class, it's always like, I want to outshine you. And I just think the Lions are going to say, look, this is your chance to show that the reason why we took you in the first round is because of this. And I think he has a good game today. But at number 1 is a guy I was extremely high on coming into the season or before the draft, and then they drafted Charbonnet out of UCLA. But I'm going with Kenneth Walker. You chose Miles Sanders. I think Kenneth Walker goes crazy on the Panthers, and I got him at number 1 today as my running backs that you definitely want to start. Let's move to the wide receiver skill. What we doing?
Josh Reynolds at number 5 for me. I think he's a go-to option with Amon St. Brown there. I think he's a second option to start. He had 9 this season. He has 9 receptions, 146 yards, 2 touchdowns, 13 targets in 2 games. He's a clear number 2. I'm not sure how things is going to work when Jameson Williams come back, but you should get a lot of production from him. Number 4, I'm rolling with Michael Thomas, man, at number 4. PPR type of leagues, Thomas, he's going to continue to get a lot of targets. He's slowly getting back into the groove of things, and you can't go wrong with Michael Thomas at 4 going against Green Bay. Number three for me, I'm gonna go with Zay Flowers from the Baltimore Ravens at number 3. He's a huge option for Lamar right now. I think he's the only guy that has really stepped up. It seems like that's his favorite target right now. I like Flowers at number 3. Number 2, I'm gonna go with, surprisingly, I like Nico Collins at number 2, man.
Wow.
Going against Jacksonville. I'm not a huge fan of the Jacksonville defense, man. Okay, all right, man. So I seen somebody's comment in there, and it cracked me up right now. I got distracted right now. Um, yeah, yeah. So I got him at number 2, Nico Collins. Shout out to Musa, by the way. Happy birthday, Musa! By also,
Hey, shout out to Musa and happy
number 1
birthday
for
to him
me.
for sure.
Number 1 for me, I'm going with Amari Cooper at number 1. I didn't expect him to play Monday night. It definitely surprised me, but I like him at number 1. I think this is the game where Deshaun Watson and Amari Cooper finally gets it clicking and gets it going. So I got him at number 1.
No doubt. And shout out to my dog Moose. Happy birthday, bro. Good thing I don't wear my hat to dress for you, big dog. I don't try to impress a man as far as the way I dress. But shout out to you. Happy birthday to you, big dog. That's neither here nor there. All right. Coming in at number 5. I'm going with Calvin Ridley. I think last week we got to see Christian Kirk and what he can do. And I think that even with Zay Jones out, I think that you gotta look at Christian Kirk's performance and say to yourself, okay, we can't just double Calvin Ridley. We got to make sure that we cover Christian Kirk as well. And I just think that he's going to have a really good game today because the defense is going to have to respect Christian Kirk. Coming in number 4, I got Chris Olave. Chris Olave is entering that realm. He's not there yet, but he's entering that realm. He's getting to that realm where you just got to start him no matter what. It doesn't matter who else is playing. It doesn't matter about the matchups no more. It doesn't matter who he's going up against. Olave is just a special talent, and I'm going with him at number 4. At number 3, I'm with you, Keo. Zay Flowers. We're going to talk about him in a few minutes. Zay Flowers is quietly becoming the guy in Baltimore. Outside of Mark Andrews, you remember when Hollywood Brown was there? Hollywood Brown had a big year. I look at Zay Flowers and I say, yeah, you got Odell Beckham, Rashad Bateman, Aguilar. That's all cool. But Zay Flowers is really stepping into another realm, and I'm really liking what I'm seeing for that young kid. Coming in at number 2, I got George Pickens. Wow. Last week in the second half, he was at 0. And then all of a sudden, George Pickens went crazy. And that's what a lot of people expected, especially myself. I was looking for Pickens to have a big year this year. And now I think things are about to start ramping up with George Pickens. I'm going with him at number 2. But my number 1 guy on the day is a guy that most people say, X, you got to put him in as far as a stud. But I'm not there yet. I know he had 2 great weeks, 2 historic weeks. And I think it continues. I'm going with Puka Nacua. I think that he is shown that he may be the new Cooper Kupp in LA. He may be the new Cooper Kupp. They may not rush Cooper Kupp back because this kid has been going crazy, catching many balls from Matthew Stafford. And I just think that tomorrow night versus Cincy, that trend continues. If he does it for a 3rd straight week, we have to start looking at, is this guy an automatic start no matter who you have on your team? If you have A.J. Brown and DK Metcalf, are you still starting this guy over those guys? It's getting to that point, kind of like Chris Olave. You're going to start him no matter what. But today I'm putting him at number 1. All right, Keo, let's get to these tight ends.
Obviously George Kittle played this past week. But
Waller played.
Yeah, Waller played. Starting at number 5 for me, I'm going with Sam Laporta. Okay, so Sam Laporta at number 5 for me. I think his usage, Goff's been going at him, so I like him. I like him at number 5 right now. Number 4, I like Juwan Johnson at 4, man. I think Juwan Johnson is a great option. A great option to go to at 4. Number 3, I'm gonna go with the Chicago Bears, Cole Kmet at number 3. I think I know he likes to go to the receivers, guys like DJ Moore, but I think it's a good option to for Cole Kmet. I think he'll definitely be targeted a lot by Justin Fields, and you could see a lot of red zones targets for him also. So I got him at number 3. My number 2 guy, I'm gonna go with the Bills tight end at number 2. Kincaid. I like him at number 2. I think I've liked him since he came out the draft. I thought my Cowboys was gonna go after him, but the Bills end up taking him, and I just like his upside, the potential that he has, and I think this week is a perfect opportunity going against a bad defense. I'm going him at number 2. And number 1, I'm going with T.J. Hawkinson. He's been one of the best tight ends right now. He might be leading all tight ends right now in fantasy points right now. So I got him at number 1.
Okay. I'm not mad at that. I view Hawkinson as a must start no matter what. Same there as Kelsey and Andrews. Keo's probably not there yet, but I am there with Hawkinson. I think you start him no matter what. All right. Coming number 5 is the guy that's actually number 2 right now. Number 2. That's kind of surprising. I'm going with Hunter Henry of the Patriots. Yes, they have a tough matchup against the Jets. I know the Jets defense is phenomenal, but I think Hunter Henry has proven in these first 2 weeks that you got to get him in your starting lineup. He's the number 2 tight end in fantasy football currently. Had a touchdown in week 1, touchdown in week 2, and he's getting multiple passes thrown his way. So I'm going Hunter Henry at 5. At number 4, I'm going with Freiermuth out from the Steelers. I just think George Pickens, Najee Harris going up against the Raiders defense is a good matchup for him. So I think Kenny Pickett will get him involved in today's game. Coming in number 3, I got your boy Ferguson. Fergie, what up? I think Dak Prescott has a big game, and I think he gets Ferguson involved. So I'm gonna go with Ferguson at 3. At number 2, we keep waiting. We keep waiting for this moment. When is Kyle Pitts gonna show us that he was worth that top 10 pick? Now he has to do it because they're going up against Detroit. Detroit's going to score some points. If you're going to beat the Lions, you're going to have to outscore them. And I just think today Pitts has to have a good game in order for the Falcons to have a chance in this matchup. So I'm going to go with Pitts at number 2. But number 1 is easy for me. It's Evan Ingram. I mean, they got the Houston Texans. They got all the weapons in Jacksonville that a man could want. You know, at the end of the day, you got Christian Kirk, you got Calvin Ridley, you got ATN in the backfield, you got Tank Bisbee, you got Trevor Lawrence throwing the ball to him. I just think that Evan Ingram is a no-brainer. You got to start him if you have him in your lineup. So I'll get it. I would go Evan Ingram at number 1. Let's go to the defense, Keo.
Okay, defense. Obviously, we know who the best defense is. So if you got the Dallas Cowboys defense, you know you're gonna have to start them. But outside of that, my number 5 defense to start for today, I am going with the New York Jets. Despite the quarterback issues with Zach Wilson, they still got a great defense. Secondary, front 7, like this matchup against the against the Patriots, and they are at home. I got them at 5. Number 4, I like the New Orleans Saints against the Green Bay Packers. Even though it's a road game for the Saints, I think they'll have a hard time moving the ball. The Packers, they got Aaron Jones out, Christian Watson out. It's going to be tough for them, man. It's going to be tough for Jordan Love. So I got them at number 4. Number 3, I'm going with the Detroit Lions at number 3. I think the Falcons will struggle, man. I think the Lions have one of the most underrated defenses in the entire league. So I got them at number 3. Number 2, I'm going with the Cleveland Browns at number 2, man. Cleveland Browns at number 2. The Titans, they've been playing well, but the problem with the Titans is they haven't been scoring any points. Not enough points. They don't score enough points for me. Browns with a solid defense, looking to bounce back from their win. So I got them at number 2. And my number 1 defense to start, I'm going with the Buffalo Bills at number 1. Going against a Washington team, which they don't know what their identity is when it comes on the offensive side. So I'm going with the Bills at number 1.
All right. Mine's similar. I did include the Cowboys in mine because the defense to me is. I know the Cowboys are the best defense right now in football. We talked about an NBA show. I do agree with you. And I'll just say it right now. They are my number 1 defense on the day. They're going against the Cardinals. That's a no-brainer. The Cowboys have allowed 10 points this entire season. You got to start the Cowboys defense. But number 5, I'm going with the Baltimore Ravens. Gardner Minshew is going to start for the Indianapolis Colts today. I didn't mention Anthony Richardson is out today. Gardner Minshew will be the starter for the Colts. I think the Ravens just going to, basically win this game going away. So I think Gardner Minshew, he's a gunslinger. He likes to throw the ball around. Look for the Ravens to pick him off a couple of times, force a couple of turnovers. So I'm going with the Ravens at 5. At number 4, I got the Jags versus Houston. I love C.J. Stroud, but they're young. They're young. They're going to make a lot of mistakes. They're going to try to keep up with the Jags. I think the Jags just force a lot of turnovers in this one. C.J. Stroud's going to struggle mightily in this one. So I got the Jags at 4. Coming in number 3 and number 2, I just told you guys, I'm going with the Cowboys at 1, so 3 and 2 is my last ones. I got the Pats and the Jets. I think we're going to get into who's going to be the lowest scoring game of the day, which we'll talk about in a second. But I think the Pats and Jets is very low scoring, and I think that both teams will come in at the 2 and 3 spot. So I got the Jets and the Pats. And number 1 is the Cowboys. It's not even close. The Cowboys are going to be – they might pitch a shutout today. I mean, I hate to say it, but they might pitch another shutout. And they might allow 10 points in 3 games. That is insane. Diggs is out, though, Keo. We didn't talk about it. I hope the young man has a quick recovery, but I do think that hurts the Cowboys' defense. That was a big loss. Reek don't like that. Reek don't like that. Talk to him, Reek. Does he know who Brian Robinson is? Does he
This
know
is the same.
Oh,
This
man.
is the same guy that picked the damn Washington Commanders to go to the damn Super Bowl.
I can't defend that. I'm not gonna do that.
Nobody is gonna defend that. Are you kidding me?
It's all good. All right, Keo, we'll get to this. We'll go through this next one real quick. We're not taking spend a lot of time. Top 5 kickers on the day. Let's get to it.
Number 5, I'm going with Jason Myers at number 5. Number 4, I'm gonna go with Boswell. He's going with Boswell against the was it Boswell against the Raiders? Yeah, it is against the Raiders. Boswell against the Raiders. Number 3, I'm going with Sanders from Miami. I think they're gonna be putting up a lot of points. Number 2, I'm going with Joseph from Minnesota. They'll be getting a lot of opportunities if they don't score any touchdowns. And number 1, I'm going with Mr. Patterson, Riley Patterson from Detroit at number 1.
I like all those. I'm gonna go with 2 high scoring games. I think I like all 4 of these kickers. I like Cameron Dicker from the Chargers. Pause. Greg Joseph. Greg Joseph of the Vikings. I think he'll have a good game. Riley Patterson from the Lions and Younghoe Koo. Shout out to Younghoe Koo. What up? What
Yes,
up?
sir.
Got all 4 of those guys. Well, I think those 2 games are gonna be very high scoring. But my number 1 guy on the day is Brandon Aubrey. Brandon Aubrey is my number 1 kicker on the day. Your Cowboys, man. I got all your Cowboys at the number 1 spot for most of my spots today. All right, Keo. What game is going to be the highest scoring game of the day?
Oh, I said it earlier, man. It's gonna be the Minnesota Vikings versus the LA Chargers. I just think that the defense, I don't know what the hell's going on with both of these defenses, but those guys could move the ball, and I think Herbert and Cousins, they're gonna push that ball down the field, and you're gonna see a lot of points. Anybody that has players like Jordan Addison, obviously Justin Jefferson, he's gonna get his. He's gonna get his. I'm expecting Mike Williams to show up today. He had a solid game last week. Keenan Allen. So I like this for them. I like this high scoring matchup. It's gonna be the Chargers and the Vikings.
All right. I'm with you 1,000%. Me and Q actually didn't talk about this before the show. Got it written right here. Minnesota versus the Chargers. I think that's the highest scoring game of the day. And I think it's going to be the only game I think that really can compete with it is the Falcons in Detroit. But the thing about the Falcons is they run the ball so much they have to break on some big plays for me to really consider them over the Chargers and the Vikings. So I'm with you. Chargers, Vikings, highest scoring. What's the lowest scoring play game of the day that you might want to be careful of starting people in this game?
The lowest scoring game of the day that you should be careful with. I am gonna go with the lowest scoring game of the day. I am gonna go with the New England Patriots and the New York Jets. I'm not confident with these offenses at all. If I had to pick one offense I'm confident with is the Jets because they're at home and now they'll find a way to move the ball down the field. So I think that will be the lowest scoring game.
All right. The crazy thing, me and Kyo didn't talk about this before. I'm with them. Jets, Pats. I just talked about that as far as defense is concerned. I think this game could be definitely under 20 on both sides unless the defense scores defensive touchdowns. This is gonna be a low scoring game. Pats and Jets are gonna struggle in this one. Both defenses are gonna come to play. So I got that as my lowest scoring game of the day. All right, Kyo. Let's go to waiver wire pickups. Who should people be getting in there? They get out the waiver right now. Can benefit them today or maybe in the near future. What you going with?
Kyron Williams.
Give me like three.
Kyron Williams. He's a player that you should go after a waiver wire pickup. Another player you should pick up, Kareem Hunt, man. I like me some Kareem Hunt right now. I know somebody in the MBS league picked him up as a waiver wire and used them as a trading asset, which was smart. Um, so Kareem Hunt and my number one guy to start. I mean, not my number one guy. The other waiver wire pickup that I definitely would recommend. Um, I'm gonna go with Raheem Mostert as another waiver wire pickup. Had a solid game. I didn't expect him to do that type of damage. So yeah.
Okay, I'll give y'all a few. I got two Saints real quick. Kendra Miller. He's gonna probably get a lot of playing time today because no Jamal Williams is out. And we know
Right.
that Alvin Kamara is suspended. We know Tony Jones is gonna play some as well. But I think Miller's gonna get his fair share of touches out the backfield. So I'm going with Miller. You need to pick him up. We talked about Shaheed earlier. Shaheed is a big time player. I think you need to get him in your lineup. He can definitely be a nice flex play for you. And on some weeks, maybe even a wide receiver number 2. So I like Shaheed. The other guys I like Josh Reynolds. Keel was big on Josh Reynolds early. I kind of slept on him a little bit. I was like, I don't know yet. I like the Lions a lot, but I don't know about Reynolds. But Reynolds has proven that he is one of those guys for the Lions that Jared Goff is going to rely on this year. So I'm going to Reynolds. Is another good pickup that you can get in your lineup right now. I'm going to go opposite of Keel. I think the time is going to come. I don't know when it's going to be. I know Mostert had a good week last week, but I would definitely put Achane on the side on my bench for the future. Devon Achane of the Miami Dolphins. I think that he could be somebody that you can look at down the line that you'll be happy that you had him on your bench. Two more guys that I think that you should consider picking up, not necessarily playing them today, but I'm going to say, and it might come off funny, Melvin Gordon. Are you kidding me? And Gus Edwards. The Ravens are going to run the football. We know that. To have one of those guys could pay off for you. All you need is one big week, and you could trade those players. Don't always think that you got to pick them up and play them. If they have one good week, you could trade them, just like Keo said. Somebody picked up Kareem Hunt and backdoor and traded Kareem Hunt and got Jalen Waddle for it. So just think about that for a second. You pick up Gus Edwards or Melvin Gordon, they have one good game, over 100 yards rushing, a couple of touchdowns. Bam, you could trade him for somebody worth having. And then just one last person I want to mention is Hunter Henry. He's the second best tight end right now in fantasy football. You might want to go pick him up and start him in your lineup. All right, Keo. I'm gonna hit you with something I didn't tell you about before. I want to know a few players that people should buy right now. When I say buy, we're gonna do a buy or a sell. I'm gonna mention some players, and me and you are gonna say, are you buying them or selling them? Okay.
All right.
All right. DeAndre Swift. Are you buying him or selling him right now because his price tag after that last week's game, you can get a pretty penny for him. Are you going to keep him or are you going to sell him?
I'm buying him. But yeah, definitely buying him. His value's not high, but I definitely think you could get him for a good price right now before his price goes up.
I'm with you. I actually would keep or buy DeAndre Swift. I think that Swift showed last week that he can be the every down back for the Eagles. Kenneth Gainwell is more of like a Percy Harvin type to me, a Debo Samuel. You kind of put him in there every now and then, but he's not your bell cow. Swift showed last week that he was the bell cow, and he did well, almost 200 rushing yards. So I'm with you. Okay, Keel, this is a good one. Cooper Kupp.
Oh man, I'm selling him. Not the reason why it's not that I don't think he's gonna give you any production. I think that with Cooper Cup, I just think that they're gonna slowly insert him in the lineup, and I think it'll take time for him to get things going. Like he's not gonna be playing 100% of the snaps. Like they'll probably when he returns he'll get 50. And I'm just not a huge fan of injured players. Like if anybody tries to trade me for an injured player, I am not taking it. I'm trying to win right now. I'm not trying to win later. If I'm somebody that has depth, maybe I would consider it. But I think you should sell him now before his value goes down.
Yeah, I'm 1,000% with you on this one. Cooper Kupp, man. If I had Cooper Kupp, I was trading him. If I can get something that I thought was valuable for Cooper Kupp, let me throw out some names that I would trade for Cooper Kupp. If somebody offered me James Cook and I needed a running back, I was taking that. DeAndre Swift, we just mentioned, I was taking that. Cooper Kupp does have a lot of upside, but at the end of the day, you don't want to just be sitting waiting for him. And then what Puka Nuka is doing right now for the Rams, it's like, do I sit around and wait for Cooper Kupp? Because he's having some success. I would sell Cooper Kupp get a good player while you can for him. Don't wait around waiting that you think you're gonna get Cooper Kupp, the old Cooper Kupp this year. I don't think you're gonna get that. All right, Keo, I'm gonna name one more. Well, it's two people, but it's one more. Are you buying or selling Jerome Ford and Kareem Hunt?
I'm selling them. I'm selling them. I wouldn't buy them. I need to see more for me to buy them. But I would definitely sell them, both of them in a package.
Okay, so I'm with you. And here's why. If the Browns signed Kareem Hunt and Jerome Ford didn't have the game he had, I would be like, okay, yeah, I'm going to take Kareem Hunt. If the Browns didn't sign Kareem Hunt and Jerome Ford had the game he had, I would go with Jerome Ford. But the fact that you got both of them, nah, like I can't. I feel like they're going to split carries. No, I promise, Wes, we're not making fun of you. I had this all written down prior to the show. This has nothing to do with you. But it would concern me a little bit. It would concern me because both of those guys are talented. I don't deny that. I just said if they had one or the other, I would be with it. But the fact that they have both of them, that concerns me. Now, if one of them was the starter, no doubt I was going to keep them. I was going to go after them. But the fact that they're both very productive people, I think they could be. I think that could be a little not good for me. So I would sell them. All right, Keo. Let's go to over or under. Let's start with Tua Tagovailoa. 325 passing yards today against the Denver Broncos defense. Will he go over or will he go under?
Over.
Wow.
He'll go over. He's going to have that game.
Okay.
So will Tyreek.
All right. I'm gonna say under. I think it won't be much under, but it'll be under. 325 is a lot. We're asking a lot of them. 325. And the way Mostert ran the ball last week, I'm gonna go under. And I didn't mention this. No Jalen Waddle this week. Jalen Waddle is out for today's game. I didn't mention that. Should have mentioned that right at the beginning. My fault. All right, Keo. Bijan Robinson, $150 total yards. Will he get $150 total yards against the Lions defense today?
Hell no. No, he's not gonna get $150. I think he'll get like around like 120 total scrimmage yards, but not
Okay,
150 though.
I'm gonna say under as well. $150 is a lot, even though it's passing and rushing. You're asking a lot of a guy. Can I see him getting 100 total yards? Absolutely. Can I see him getting over 100 rushing yards? Absolutely. But $150 total? Oh man, that's Christian McCaffrey in his prime type numbers. Yeah, I don't know about that yet. I love Bijan Robinson, but $150 is a lot against the Lions defense that we both think is underrated. All right, Keo. You know how I feel about this guy. Patrick Surtain Jr. No Jalen Waddle today. He's going to be locked up with our guy, Hill. Will the Cheetah have $125 on Patrick Surtain today?
How much?
$125, 125.
Yeah, he will.
Wow.
Come on, sometimes top cornerbacks have those bad games, man. And I think this is one of them games, man. I just don't think Surtain can cover Tyreek, man. Too quick, man. Just way too quick.
And here's the thing about Tyreek, man. Tyreek can get you for a 70-yarder on one play. On one play, he can hit you with a 70-yarder, so it's a little dangerous. But with that being said, I'm going under. I think that Patrick Surtain is one of the best corners in football. And I think that with no Jalen Waddle, they can roll the coverage towards Tyreek Hill. And I think they actually hold him under 125 yards today. So I'm going to say no. Tyreek Hill does not get to 125 receiving yards today. All right, tomorrow night, we've been waiting for this guy to break out. We've been waiting for it. You know, that's my dog, Big LSU. Will Ja'Marr Chase go over 100 receiving yards and have at least one touchdown?
Yeah. I'm gonna say yeah.
Wow.
That should be easy for him if he's an elite receiver.
Oh,
Justin Jefferson don't have a problem doing that.
oh, God. Here we go. He always trying to turn my LSU guys.
CeeDee Lamb did that against you know who.
No, he didn't do that against Sauce Gardner. That's what you like to do. He did it against the Jets. He did it against the Jets. Don't do that. Don't do that. You think you so slick. You are slick, boy. You are a slick little dude, bro. All right. I'm going to say Chase does do it as well. It's a lot you're asking for, over 100 and a touchdown. But I'm going to say yes, he does get a touchdown. And I do think he gets over 100 yards against the Rams defense. All right, last but not least, Keo, Lamar Jackson. Ooh, that's a big number. 350 total yards today. Lamar Jackson. Will he get 350 total yards on the day versus the Indianapolis Colts?
Yes.
Wow.
I believe he will. I think he'll pull it off, man. I like Lamar Jackson, man. Lamar Jackson, his numbers been going up each week. I like the trajectory. New offensive coordinator. I like the way he's been utilized in this game, and he actually got weapons around him now. So I'm gonna say yes.
Okay, I'm gonna say no. 350 is just too much. I mean, come on, man. Who made this stat line? Come on, man. It's ridiculous. 350, dog. Like he can get the 340 and you still lose out. No, man. I'm going under that. 350. Yeah, I know he can rush for a lot of yards to pass, but I look for this game to be a blowout. So I don't even think he's gonna play in the fourth quarter. So I'm gonna say no. He doesn't get the 350. That's just too much, Keo. All right, Keo. Let's get to the start and sit-up portion of the show. You name 5, I name 5, and then we tell you if you should start them or sit them. I'll go first. I'll go first.
Okay, yeah.
Alexander Madison, you starting him or you sitting him?
Yeah, I'm starting him. I had him in my top 5 to start.
Oh, God. All right. You're going to say, yeah, for a lot of these we have people. Okay. Gardner Minshew, you starting him or you sitting him?
I'm sitting him. Yeah, I'm sitting him.
All right. Braxton Berrios. He's going to get the start for the Dolphins now that Waddle's out. Are you going to start him or sit him? That's a high flying offense.
I'm gonna start him.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I think that's a nice flex play. I think that's a nice flex play.
Yeah.
Jerome Ford. Ooh.
Yeah, I'm gonna start him also. I think it was solid what he was able to do, get full practice reps. Yeah, I like Ford to be a
Okay,
start.
I would put him as a flex as well. So my last one, this is an interesting one. It's not him per se, but we've heard all the rumors this week. Joe Burrow may sit. He plays on Monday night though. So you can't mess around and waste your time messing with Joe Burrow. If he sits, you out of a quarterback pretty much because all the other quarterbacks will be played by then. Are you going to risk it? Are you going to start or sit Joe Burrow?
Am I gonna start or sit Joe Burrow? He's a game time decision though.
Yeah, that's what he plays on Monday night.
Oh man. I'm not risking nothing, man. I'm sitting him. Yeah, I'm sitting him. If I got somebody like a freaking Jimmy Garoppolo, yeah, I'm gonna start him. I'm sitting Joe Burrow, bro. I'm not
Yeah,
risking it.
I feel the same way Keo does. Absolutely. I'm not. I think he's gonna play, but that's too concerning for me. Unless you're willing to pick up the Bengals backup quarterback and start them. I'm starting somebody else. Obviously, if it's like Zach Wilson, I'm gonna pick up the Bengals backup
Yeah.
quarterback and start him. But for the most part, I'm starting somebody else. All right, Keo, your top five.
Now my first guy I'm going after is: are you starting or sitting Adam Lazard?
I just told you, Zach Wilson. I ain't starting that boy at all. That offense is horrible. Horrible now that Aaron Rodgers is hurt.
Wow.
I told you should have sold Garrett Wilson because Garrett Wilson, he's going to have a good year, but it won't be the year that we all thought he was going to have. He'll be solid. He'll be 1,000-yard receiver, but we were thinking 15, 16, 1,700 yards. That's a big gap. I would have sold Garrett Wilson the moment Aaron Rodgers got hurt. So yeah, I'm definitely not starting Alan Lazard.
Man, I got Garrett Wilson when Aaron Rodgers got injured, man. Yeah, thanks a lot, Wes. All right. Are you starting or sitting? Okay, are you starting or sitting Keenan Allen?
Oh, I'm starting him. That's the highest scoring game of the night. Are you kidding me? Keenan Allen? That's a must start. That's wide receiver one type start. I am definitely starting Keenan Allen.
Sometimes Keenan could give you those bad games,
He
man.
can, but I trust it today. Today is the day I trust.
Okay. Next one
Big
up.
trust.
Okay, the next one up. Are you starting or sitting Terry McLaurin?
Whew. Buffalo. I'm going to say I'm starting him because I think that Buffalo's going to have a big lead. Shout out to my dog, Reek. Don't get mad at me. I'm just telling you what I think. I think Buffalo has a big lead. And I think they're going to have to try to fight back in that one. And they'll get some late passing yards, maybe even a late touchdown. So I'm going to start Terry McLaurin.
All right. My number 4 guy. Are you starting or sitting Andy Dalton?
Man, come on, bro. That boy is sitting all the way deep. I'm not even picking him up. He's going to stay in the waiver wire. I don't want Andy Dalton. Not at all. I'm sitting him.
You act like he's a bad quarterback.
Hey, man. Hey.
I'd rather have Andy Dalton than Zach Wilson right now.
Hey, man. Hey, I never disagree with that now. I wouldn't have Zach Wilson on my team either. So,
all right, last but not least, are you starting or sitting Dalvin Cook?
That's interesting because the Jets should run the football. But I think that what happened with Breece Hall last week, having 4 touches, I think they're going to try to give Breece Hall more touches this week. I'm gonna sit Dalvin Cook. I don't love the matchup neither. I think the Patriots defense is gonna come to play. He may score a touchdown, but I don't think Dalvin Cook's getting over 12 fantasy points, 10 fantasy points really. So I'm gonna sit him. I'm gonna try to get another route as far as my flex is concerned. All right, let's get to these questions. I see my dog Wes asked the question. Keo, Wes asked, Baker, Mayfield, or Deshaun Watson? Who we going with?
You know, I love me some Baker Mayfield, man. I think he's gonna play well though. So surprisingly, I have the Bucks in the upset win, but I just think Deshaun Watson will perform better. And I need to see Deshaun Watson. So I'm um I'm going with Deshaun Watson to start, man. Because Baker could tend to have that bad game, but I don't expect it. He's been playing really well. Um, he got those weapons around him, so I'm going with Deshaun Watson though.
Yeah, I think Baker going up against the Eagles, not necessarily that Baker can't have the better game because Watson has not played great this year. I just think that Watson has to break out at some point. You drafted Watson. I know, Wes, you traded for him. If you trade for a guy like Watson or drafted him high, you got to try to see what you can get from him this week. I think this is probably my last week giving him a chance. If he doesn't break out today, I'll probably maybe move on from him. Not saying move on, but bench him and see what I have with Baker Mayfield because Baker has played great. But I'm going to go with Deshaun Watson as well. All right. Wes also said that we messed up last week choosing Herbert over, over Nico. Shout out to Wes, man. We appreciate all the love, big dog. All right, Keo. My boy Casey wants to know. Pick two. He got Puka. He got AJ Brown, and he got Mike Evans. Which two are you should he start today?
Mike Evans, man. I like Mike Evans.
Two of them.
I haven't been too impressed. Oh, what is it?
It's pick two. He said he
Nuka
got
and
Puka,
who?
Nuka, AJ Brown, and Mike Evans.
I like AJ Brown and Mike Evans. AJ Brown's gonna get his numbers.
Wow.
Mike Evans gonna get his numbers. I think that's the target that Stafford's been liking to go to, and I think the Bengals they're gonna dial in on him. So I think he's gonna. I think you people will be disappointed. So I'm going with Evans and AJ Brown.
Okay. I disagree with you, and I disagree with Wes. Wes has Evans and Puka. I'm going Puka and Brown. Evans is one of those guys that can let you down in fantasy. He could have 51 week and then lay a dud and have zero. I think that the Eagles are going to force feed AJ Brown today because you've been hearing the rumors. You see what Smith is doing. I think they're going to try to get Brown involved. So I think Brown is going to have a good game. And there's no way I'm benching Puka. But shout out to Casey, man. Casey.
Wait a minute.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Wait a minute. I got my nephew in the comments right now. He hit me up earlier. I told him to drop a question in the comments. My nephew Elijah, it's his first year playing fantasy football. Actually,
Elijah.
Hopefully the comment will pop up. Hold on.
I see it. He said, should he start Kirk Cousins or Justin Herbert? Justin Herbert, big dog. It's your first year playing. Don't overthink it. We know Kirk Cousins has had a good season so far, but there's no way I'm starting Kirk Cousins over Justin Herbert. Not happening. Is that who he's referring to?
I don't think you could go wrong with either of these players, man.
Oh, shoot. I disagree, but that's okay.
No, I think he's referring to Cousins. I think he's referring to Cousins and Herbert.
Okay, because I was thinking maybe and this just, I know you said Herbert and Cousins, but if you're referring to Christian Kirk and Khalil Herbert, because obviously it could be that as well, I'm going Christian Kirk hands down, not even thinking twice about it.
Yeah, yeah. Kirk or Khalil Herbert? You say you going Christian Kirk hands down?
Hands down. Khalil Herbert has not been what I thought he was gonna be.
Yeah, I would go with Kirk too. He had that bad game in week 1, but I would go with Kirk. But as far as the quarterback goes, like I said, I don't think you could go wrong with either one of them, man. Kirk Cousins or Justin Herbert.
Okay.
I just think both games is going to be solid. And it's going to be a shootout. So yeah,
Okay. Um SYXC claps underscore claps asks, should he go with Dak or Jared Goff? I'm going Dak Prescott. Not even. I like Jared Goff a lot, but the Falcons like to run the ball too much. I think it's gonna be high
man.
scoring.
Hey, my guy. You know what's funny? I actually have both of these quarterbacks in the
It is.
MVS
That's
league.
true. That is
Um,
true.
the first 2 weeks I have sat Dak Prescott, and it basically worked out the way I wanted to. But this week, I'm going with Dak Prescott against Arizona. I think people are expecting the Cowboys to move the ball more. And especially with what he's been able to do with CD Lamb the last game, I think they want to build on that, man. So I'm going with Dak over Jared Goff.
Okay, okay. My girl Tay wants to know Miles Sanders, Pachenko, and Javante Williams. Which two should she start?
Pacheco.
Oh, God.
So who's the other ones?
Miles Sanders and Javante Williams. Me and Keel actually have all these backs.
Yeah. Um, I like Javante Williams also, man. Williams and Pacheco.
And I'm going Williams and Sanders. I don't love Miles Sanders, but I don't like Pachenko at all. I think Pachenko is not that good. I'm with Wes on this one. Sanders and Williams for sure. I'm staying away from Pachenko. And Pachenko is gonna play. They say he's gonna give it a go, but he's been nicked up this entire week. He can leave the game in the first quarter. That'd make me so frustrated. All right, Keel. My girl L wants to know Justin Fields or Russell Wilson. Who should she go with?
God damn. Well, I'm going with Russell Wilson in this game. Even though it was in a losing effort, man, Russell Wilson did put up some solid numbers. I'm going Russell Wilson in this one.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm with Q on this. I'm with Q when he said, "God damn!" Like these quarterbacks, I don't love either one of them. This is tough. I mean, you can literally flip a coin. I'm gonna go Justin Fields though. I'm gonna go Fields just because I think against the Chiefs, he's gonna have to do something. He's gonna have to do something to keep this game close. He may get some late touchdowns in this one. So I'm gonna go Fields. I'm not going Russ. All right, Kill. My dog Stacy wants to know Hunt or Kendre Miller. Kendre Miller or Kareem Hunt. Both of them are gonna get their first playing time this season. Who's the better flex option?
Miller. I think he's gonna get production right away. With Hunt, I think they got Ford over there, so I don't think he's gonna get as many as people expect him to get. So I'm gonna go with um Miller.
Okay. Landon wants to know. What up, Landon? He wants to know, should he roll with Tyler Algier or Joe Mixon? Algier's been really good this year. So this is interesting. Joe Mixon
Joe
has not been
Mixon,
great.
man. I'm going with Joe Mixon in this one. If Burrow don't play, they're gonna pound the rock, and they'll play it safe for the quarterback that's gonna be playing for Burrow. So, Joe Mixon.
Yeah, I'm with Mixon. No overthinking. I mean, Algier could have the better game, but you're hoping with that. With without Jared because you still got Bijan Robinson. They do like to run the ball a lot in Atlanta. They're a team that likes to run the ball more than anybody else. But I think I still got to go Joe Mixon. He just gets too much of the volume in Cincinnati, so I'm going with Joe Mixon on that one. All right, Keel. That's it. Let's run to it. Our favorite time. Who is the stud, the dud, and the sleeper of the week? Who's your sleeper of the week, Keel?
My sleeper of the week this week, today. I'm talking about today. Today, my sleeper of the week. I am gonna go with Kyron Williams for my sleeper of the week.
Okay. I'm going to go with a guy. I just think Tyreek Hill takes so much attention away. I'm going to go Braxton Berrios. I think he could have a really good game today. I'm not sitting there saying he's going to be Tyreek Hill or Jalen Waddle, but if he has 7 catches, 70 yards, and a touchdown, it wouldn't surprise me. And that's a guy you can go get up the waiver wire right now, and you can play him. So I'm going to go Braxton Berrios as far as the guy that I think is a sleeper of the week. All right, Gil, who is your dud of the week? Who's going to lay that egg that everybody may be thinking about starting them, and it just won't pan out?
My dud of the week, I am going to go with my dud of the week. I'm going with this is a good one. Okay, I got it. My dud of the week is Puka Nakua. That's my dud of the week.
You're going to be so wrong about that, cuz. You tripping.
I'm going to be so right about that. Go ahead. Say your dud of the week so you could get it wrong again.
Okay, I'm going to say it. The guy I probably got the most questions about this entire week, because since he got signed, is Kareem Hunt. I think you're going to be mad if you start Kareem Hunt today. I think you're going to be upset. You know, at the end of the day, I'm not sitting there saying Kareem Hunt won't be good long term. But today, you're going to be mad if you start Kareem Hunt. Kareem Hunt will not have the game that everybody thinks he's going to have in week 1. He may get 5 fantasy points, that'll be like the best case scenario. I don't see him getting double digits, and some people think he's going to get double digits, even though I think the Browns are going to be good today. I'm going with Kareem Hunt as a dud for sure, after all the hype I'm seeing around Kareem Hunt. All right. And who is Keel's stud of the week? Now, Keel, you can't pick somebody you picked the first 2 weeks, even though we've been wrong.
So week one, I picked Lamar Jackson. Last week, I picked Josh Allen. Week 3, I am going with Dak Prescott as the stud of the week, man. Against Arizona. I know they're in Arizona, but when they play, the Cowboys fans normally take over this. And this is bound for Dak Prescott. And I'm going with Dak for the stud of the week.
Okay, we're not far off. I went Lamar Jackson. I was wrong. I went Trevor Lawrence. I was wrong the first 2 weeks. This week, I feel really good about it, though. You ready for this, Keel? We talked about Bijan $150, right? Oh, I got somebody that's going to give you $150 total. Tony Pollard is my stud of the week. Over $150.
All right. I can see that.
2 touchdowns minimal. He's going to have a monster fantasy day against the Arizona Cardinals, in my opinion. Tony Pollard is my stud of the week. All right, Kia, that's it. Let's get to these shout-outs, big dog.
Yo, shout out to you. Obviously, shout out to everybody that supports the brand. Make sure you tap in with us Tuesday, Thursday, MBS. Let's talk about it. We could pull up anytime with me and Danny Myers, man, with MBS Universe. So with that being said, man, best of luck to you guys, man. And I'm ready for these games, man. It's Sunday.
No doubt. Shout out to everybody in the chat, man, from Landon to West to Reek. Once again, happy birthday to my dog, Moose, a big dog. You my dog, but I don't dress for you. Shout out to you, man. We definitely appreciate you. Shout out to everybody else that I didn't mention in the chat that asked questions. We definitely appreciate you. Shout out to everybody that watched on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, whatever you watch us on. We definitely appreciate it. And shout out to my co-host. He's always giving me a hard time. Y'all can see the text messages this guy sends me. It's ridiculous. He's bragging about me being wrong when it comes to my picks yesterday. I picked all upsets. And Clemson let me down.
That's your fault, man.
Ole Miss let me down. But you know who didn't let me down? That big LSU. We playing.
You act like Arkansas had the chance to begin
that's
with.
our rivalry. That's one of our rivalries. And that's for the boot trophy. And they always play us tough. And don't disrespect KJ Jefferson. Don't watch your mouth. That's big time right there in Arkansas. And he's kind of big time. You know, there's another big time player that came from Arkansas that plays for the Tennessee Titans. Oh! Talk that talk, X. What up, Traylon Burks? What up, Traylon?
Yeah,
Burks?
you dropped them too. What you mean?
I dropped him in another league, not an MBS league. That league I'm too loaded in. It's ridiculous. I think that's a C's league. I'm too loaded in that. That's C's league, Keenan's league. My team is too good in that league. That's ridiculous how good my team is in that. I don't know how y'all let me draft that team. But that's neither here nor there. Shout out to everybody once again. If you lose today, you have nobody but to blame but yourself. But if you win, like Drake said, man, thank us later. This is the Start Up Cinema Show. That's my dog Keo. I'm Trex, the Sports Junkie. We out. Peace.
Peace.